All right, now let's take a look at this new CBA deal for the WNBA. Let's discuss.
Yo, you check the mic, 1, 2, we clear, ready to transmit. Pro fan hoops on the court, we got the game lit. Not talking highlight reels just for the common glance. We talking dedicated skills, taking every chance. From logo threes to rebounds, Chicago got the me-bounds. Asia got 3 chips, Las Vegas Aces in the town. You tune into the channel if you want to get the facts. Women's basketball is fire, no need to relax.
What's going on? This is Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Hoops, and they got a deal done. The WNBA hammered out a deal, 10 days straight, locked in a room, hammering the details out. Why they didn't do this 4 weeks, 2 months ago, I have no idea. Is that the strategy that the owners did, or like, I really don't know. I got the impression that, based on some of the comments that I read, that some of the people involved in the negotiation for the Players Association really weren't used to this level of negotiation. But you're going to learn today. But at the end of the day, they got the deal done. It's not a situation where we won. If anybody can say that, the owners are going to say that. We won. If there is a winner. The players, they won. They got the pay increase that they wanted. They got the things that they wanted. They got the revenue increase, the gross revenue increase. They were never going to get 30%. I don't understand why they got stuck on that. Maybe it's one of them things where, if you reach for the stars, you at least hit the sky, that sort of thing. They wasn't never going to get 30% of gross revenue. That wasn't never going to happen. The owners was 10 toes down on that, and that was a moot point. So, but they did get the revenue share of 20% across. So that was the most important thing. If we take a look at the details of it, this is from Shams Karania. New salary cap starting at $7 million up from $1.5 million. Average revenue share of nearly 20% across the whole deal. A supermax starting at $1.4 million. So your supermax is now where your salary cap used to be. That is a big jump. And the average salary in range of $600K, with the minimum being above $300K. That is huge. That is huge. So some of the players that aren't marquee players, they can make a good salary. They can do what they got to do. And I've said this before, how are they going to pay some of them players what they was paying them, and they live in New York, or they living in LA, or they live in, Golden State, wherever that is. So you in California in general, you paying out the ass. If you in New York, you paying out the ass. So now it makes it a little bit more palatable. However, all of them ladies are now in a new tax bracket. And Uncle Sam is going to get his. So that's going to be a new experience for him. But they got the deal done. They got some of the things they wanted. It is a 7-year deal, I believe. They're going to re-up after 7 years. So that gives plenty of time for the WNBA to get established as a premier league. You already have the premier talent. And all of these ladies coming out now. You got Olivia Miles is coming out. You got Juju Watkins will be out in 2 years. You got Hannah Hidalgo will be out in 2 years. Lauren Betts is coming out this year. You got all of these people, Silas Swords and Toby Fournier. You get all of these young players that are in college now. Kiyomi McMillan is going to be out. they are building a fan base that is going to follow them to the league. So now was the time to get it done, and that's exactly what they did. Now here's some of the new stuff that's coming. There's always an edge to it, right? It's always a double-edged sword that, if you grab on too hard, you're going to cut yourself. So here's some of the other things that can come. Now, everybody can have a Supermax player. It's up to each team to figure out who that Supermax is. Now some of these players, and I'm talking about, and this is where we got to keep it 100. There are a lot of well-known players in the WNBA that are not great players. They're good players, not great. So this is, in my opinion, this is where it's going to come down to some people going to get their feelings hurt. Because you got these players that think they're all world, but in the big scheme of things, is that somebody that you want to bring, that you want to give a Supermax contract to? And also, whoever you give that Supermax to, that person better be putting butts in seats. And it's not like that across the league. It just isn't. You got, and this is my opinion, you got Indiana, obviously, with Caitlin Clark. You've got New York with Sabrina Ionescu, Stewie. Jonquel Jones is one of my favorite players, but if you take somebody that's not following the WNBA, do they even know who Jonquel Jones is? So, trying to think who's the third team. Las Vegas, obviously, because they got the championship, and Asia's down there. Who's out there at Golden State? Who's the marquee player in LA? Who's the marquee player in Chicago? Obviously, Angel Reese. That's what I was trying to think of. Chicago with Angel Reese. I guess Paige Becker's in Dallas. But Dallas is such a small venue with, 5,000 people or whatever it is. So that's the other thing. All of these teams that play in these super small venues, what are they going to do to get that revenue up? Because if Paige Beckers goes to play at, I don't know, Dallas Stadium or whatever the arena is where the Mavericks play, are they going to fill up that arena? Can they realistically do that? And that's the other thing to it. If they're going to pay these players this type of money, the return on investment is the butts in the seats. Seattle's not doing that. Who they giving the Supermax to? It is my opinion. Dominique Malonga, if you ever happen to come across this video, please, 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 every chance you get a chance, every time you get a chance to throw that ball down, throw it down. One hand, two hands, it don't matter. They need to see it enough to where it's appealing to them. Not too much, like every time you get the ball, you ain't trying to dunk, but they need to see it once or twice every couple of games or so as a constant reminder that, yep, I can get up and throw it down. And I've seen you do it before, and you can do it with ease. And that's what the league needs. You don't need everybody to be able to dunk, but the women who can dunk, please dunk. Dominique Malonga, please dunk. Kiki Iriafen, I don't know what you're waiting for. I've seen your workout tapes. I know you can throw it down. Throw the ball, throw it down. Throw it down. I know what's the girl from the Fever? KK, I forget what her last name is. I know she can dunk. She can get up there and dunk. But all I'm saying is the women that can get up there and throw it down, please throw it down. Because you need something to excite these crowds now. Because now it's going to really matter. Now it can't remain the same where they paying y'all all of this money and the play is still the same. It still looks like a shit show on the court. There are some expectations that's going to come with this money. The refs have got to be better. We cannot go through the same situation we went through last year with these officials. Cannot happen. It not because now there is truly too much money on the line. It's too important to to throw the league into those refs like y'all did before. You got to get that situation together. You have to get it together. Kathy Engelbert, whoever is on that competition board, whoever is making those decisions, you cannot have the referee situation being like it was last year. No. No. But the most important thing is you got to figure out a way to put butts in seats. And I think for some teams, it's going to be kind of a rude awakening because now the expectation is, oh, I'm making all this money. Yes, we're popular. You know, now it's we and all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes I guarantee you it's going to be some people that's going to get a rude awakening like, what's this we stuff? You might not necessarily be a part of the growing groundswell of popularity. You got to check your location. You got to check your location, and you got to keep it 100. You got to keep it real. If you in a 15,000 seat arena and it's only 5,000 people showing up, that's not getting it done. If you got a 5,000 seat arena and you can't even fill that up, that's not getting it done. So it is going to be paramount for all of these people that's talking about they love the WNBA and all that kind of stuff. Y'all better show up. You better show up. All them people that are head over heels in love with Angel Reese, y'all better show up. Them games better be packed. Down in Atlanta, y'all got a good squad, but let's keep it real. A lot of them games wasn't packed. Y'all got to show up. You got to figure out a way to get people show up. Caitlin Chen, not Caitlin Chen, but Nakase with Golden State, she's the chef's kiss for what the WNBA is looking for. I don't know what's going to happen in Portland. I don't know what's going to happen in Toronto. But they better figure it out, and they better figure out a way to get butts in seats. Because now, you paying for it. You paying for it. We're going to see what's going to happen with the TV deals. We are definitely going to be tracking the viewership because that's going to be another important thing because the viewership is going to bring in more money in the long run. The viewership is going to be what's going to determine when 7 years from now, when it's time to re-up on the new CBA, you can tear that up and it's like, okay, now we got 5-6 years of consistent growth. Now there is no misunderstanding. Now you can't just say it's Caitlin Clark. Because by that time, it's going to be Caitlin Clark and Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo and Juju Watkins and whoever else that's not even playing basketball in college yet. So you'll have a whole nother crop of superstars. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all of them, they'll be veterans. They'll be veterans. But you will have enough data to know without a shadow of a doubt, is the league the real deal? And I think it will be. Because now you get all of these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old little girls looking up to Caitlin Clark, looking up to Angel Reese, looking up to Paige Beckers, looking it up to all these new women coming into the league. And now you can see it. Now they got something to aspire to. So I'm expecting, girls basketball to be through the roof. Because you got girls basketball's on the rise. You got flag football is on the rise. And I've said this before, there will be a professional women's flag football league. That will happen. And this uptick in women's sports and the popularity and all of that kind of stuff, it's going to happen. So, congratulations to the WNBA. Now, we are going to see what we're going to see. And I'll say it again. Y'all better show up.